All right, let's talk about AI, but let's cut through all the noise. Okay, today we're diving into three big ideas: taste, tokens, and transformation. We're going to get super practical about what marketing taste really is, where AI is actually delivering value right now, and what has to happen on the tech side for it to finally bridge that gap between cold logic and human intuition. So, let's get into it. So, this is the big question on every leader's mind, right? We've all seen those wild growth charts. But let's be honest, some of that initial frenzy seems to have cooled off a bit. So, have we finally passed the peak? Well, the short answer is no, not even close. The hype might be shifting, sure, but real-world usage is still incredibly strong. The key is we're moving from that let's use AI for absolutely everything mindset to a much, much smarter one. We're finally figuring out where it adds genuine, measurable value and where it just creates a whole bunch of inefficient, low-quality output. The source material has a great word for it: slop. To really get that difference between value and slop, we've first got to define this uniquely human skill that AI, for now, just can't copy. And that brings us to this idea of taste. So, what do we mean by taste? Look, this isn't about liking blue more than red. Taste is that gut feeling, that intuition a seasoned pro gets when they just know a campaign is going to work. It's this deep, almost unconscious understanding of context, of culture, of what feels human. And honestly, this is the exact wall that AI slams into every single time. And this image, well, it just illustrates that conflict perfectly. You see, on one side, you've got the human domain. It's all about taste, right? Aesthetic judgment, understanding what's not being said. Then, on the other side, you've got the AI domain, ruled by pure logic. We're talking code verification, pattern detection, hard data. AI is an absolute master of its domain, but it really, really struggles to cross that line into ours. And what's so interesting here is how this table breaks down that gap. I mean, take a look at cultural fluency. A person can instantly get the subtext in a meme or pick up on a subtle signal that's specific to one generation. AI? Its training data can be months, even years out of date, making it completely tone deaf. Or how about trend intuition? A human can sense what's about to be big. AI can only ever tell you what's already popular, which means it's always playing catch up. Okay, so if AI totally whiffs on taste, where does it actually succeed? Let's get into our second part here and see how this all builds into a really practical way to think about using AI today, separating what's truly valuable from what's just a waste of time. You know, the key difference really boils down to this: subjective work versus objective work. Marketing lives in a world of gray areas, of nuance, of human feeling. Coding, on the other hand, it's a world of black and white logic. It's totally verifiable. The code either works or it doesn't. Simple as that. And that one difference explains pretty much everything. It's why AI tools for developers are so much stickier than a lot of the marketing AI tools out there. For a coder, an AI assistant gives them this huge efficiency boost on tasks that have a clear right or wrong answer. The ROI, it's immediate. In marketing, though, the risk of an AI just making up analytics or creating a campaign that feels, I don't know, off is super high. And the output is way harder to check, so it often ends up creating more work for you. Which leads to this fantastic metaphor from the source: burning tokens. You see, when you try to force AI into these subjective jobs where it just doesn't fit, you're not just getting bad results, you are actively wasting incredibly expensive computer resources. You're literally burning through your budget to create that slop we were talking about. So yeah, when you put it all together, you see exactly why AI trips up so often in marketing. You've got that high risk of it just making stuff up, hallucinations. You've got the operational mess, the slop it can create, and at its core, it just can't grasp human taste. It all boils down to one thing: you absolutely still need a human in the driver's seat to prevent some really costly mistakes. But what if AI could learn taste? That brings us to our final section, the technical frontier. If this lack of taste is the problem, then maybe evolving a core part of the AI's brain is the cure. Okay, let's break this down into something simple. The big word you need to know here is embeddings. The easiest way to think of them is as the AI's brain. They're these super complex data models that take concepts, words, pictures, you name it, and turn them into mathematical relationships. That's it. That's fundamentally how an AI understands anything about our world. And here is the fundamental problem. Most of today's embeddings are static. They're basically a frozen photograph of the internet from a specific point in time. They just can't track how a meme is evolving or how a trend is rising and falling. A campaign that felt perfect in 2024 might feel totally cringy by 2026. Culture moves fast, and right now, these models are just standing still. So how do we fix this? Well, the road forward seems to have three big steps. First, we have to explicitly model what taste is by training AI on these massive data sets of human preferences. Think millions of A/B test results. Second, we have to model change by feeding it a non-stop, real-time stream of signals from social media and the market. And third, we've got to build models that can actually learn continuously, so they can adapt on the fly without having to be completely retrained from scratch. Now, this isn't just science fiction. Researchers are working on this stuff as we speak. You have concepts like taste vector embeddings, which try to model taste as a direction, and temporal dynamic marketing embeddings, which are designed specifically to understand how trends change over time. This is the absolute cutting edge of making AI truly aware of culture. So here's the big takeaway for you today. Be strategic. Use AI for what it's absolutely brilliant at, the objective, the logical, the verifiable tasks. But for anything that needs real taste, you keep a human firmly in charge. And at the same time, you start preparing for a future where AI can finally begin to get a handle on all that nuance that makes us human. And that kind of leaves us with one final huge thought to chew on. When we do reach that technical frontier, what's it going to mean for your strategy, for your team, for your entire market, when AI can not only follow culture, but actually start to predict it? That's all for this breakdown. Thanks for tuning in.